The latest version of the MSI GS66 Stealth gaming laptop sports the most powerful mobile graphics card ever made. The more cooling potential, the higher it will push its GPU frequencies, and the converse is true too. If the chassis is thermally constrained, then you're not going to see the full power of the new NVIDIA Ampere silicon at its heart. What's inside the MSI GS66 Stealth? This configuration of the MSI GS66 Stealth packs in a whole suite of new goodies that haven't been seen in gaming laptops before. Apart from the Ampere architecture itself, the mobile version is rather different from its desktop counterpart, using the GA104M GPU, which is far closer to the desktop RTX 3070 than the GA102 of the genuine RTX 3080. That also means we are looking at a GPU with only 6,144 CUDA cores inside it, as opposed to the 8,704 in the GA102 chip in the desktop NVIDIA RTX 3080. And mobile trim, the new RTX 3070 comes with 5,120 cores, putting it closer to the specs of the NVIDIA RTX 3060 Ti in real terms. With the version of the RTX 3080 inside this MSI GS66, you're actually getting seemingly the lowest spec 16GB Max-Q version, with a boost clock of just 1245 MHz and a maximum GPU power limit of 95W. This is definitely a chip designed to go into the slimline chassis of the MSI machine without melting a hole in its brushed aluminium surrounds. It does come with that 16GB of RAM, but realistically that is only really going to be of benefit to you if you're aiming to use the laptop for pro-level shenanigans such as video rendering and 3D modeling. Paired with the new NVIDIA GPU is a 10th gen Intel Core i7-10870H processor, sporting 8 cores, 16 threads, and a potential max frequency of 5 GHz. Load on the two main gaming laptop components changes constantly during games, and by diverting more of the notebook's power budget to one side than the other, Dynamic Boost 2.0 is promising higher frame rates. NVIDIA's own tests, it's claiming at least a 10% performance boost using the technology, but that's something we can't test ourselves as there's no way to toggle the tech to see the difference. Then, when you enable it, GeForce Experience will automatically change the game settings it has access to, using another AI-powered algorithm to balance CPU, GPU, and system temps. How does the MSI GS66 Stealth game? Well, the MSI GS66 Stealth is definitely pretty damn speedy with this new NVIDIA RTX 3080 graphics card at its heart, but there are absolutely caveats to the sort of gaming performance you will get out of this slimline chassis. You have to accept that your desire for a slimline gaming laptop is going to have to mean a compromise on potential graphics card performance, and that's going to be the theme of this review going forward. You can see that in the relative performance against a Gigabyte Aorus 15G, which is sporting the new Mobile RTX 3070 GPU. There's really not a lot in it when it comes to gaming frame rates, and the extra girth of the Aorus chassis means that it has the edge on cooling, so it can let its Ampere silicon run a little hotter, and therefore faster. The MSI's RTX 3080 is, however, definitely quicker in gaming terms, and the generation-on-generation bump is highlighted by the comparison with the last-gen GS66 Stealth, which housed the previous fastest mobile GPU on the planet, the RTX 2080 Super. In pure frame rate terms, we're seeing a 24% increase in both standard and ray-traced performance. The new MSI GS66 Stealth, with the RTX 3080, offers essentially the same level of gaming performance at 1440p as the previous machine did with the RTX 2080 Super at 1080p. Still at 1440p, the GS66 delivers in Hitman 3 at over 100 FPS on the highest settings, and on Horizon Zero Dawn you're near 80 FPS on average at this screen's native resolution. Sure, it's cool that you can now have high refresh rates when you're gaming, because it can dynamically switch outputs to your discrete GPU on the fly, but it still leaves the Windows desktop at the mercy of the processor graphics and a lowly 60Hz refresh rate on my shiny new 240Hz 1440p screen. I get the battery-saving benefits of the switch, but having to duck into the NVIDIA Control Panel app to force the use of the RTX 3080 just so I can have a slick 240Hz desktop when I'm plugged into the wall is frustrating. The overall machine is rather lovely. It's seriously thin, especially for a gaming laptop, and comes with some seriously tasty internal specs too, but there are places where it feels like it might have benefited from a little extra design time. Laptop manufacturers are seemingly just using old chassis and cooling for their new NVIDIA-based gaming laptops, which means we're getting ever more thermally constrained when it comes to performance because new hardware is being dropped into old designs.